Dead Man's Shoes is a 2004 Irish-British film directed by Shane Meadows and stars Paddy Considine, Toby Kebbell, and Gary Stretch. Now, the term Dead Man's Shoes, this is something I had to look up. I assume it's like British, a British term, slang, or whatever, what have you. I'll read it right from Google here. It is an idiom that refers to someone taking over a position or role once held by someone who has died. I felt the need to state that and to look it up because I had no idea what it meant, even after watching the movie. So anyways, I had been waiting to see this film for a few months now. I just watched it a couple of days ago, a week ago, something like that. Ever since my buddy Mitch suggested I check it out, and he suggested I check it out strongly. So I bought the DVD shortly after, but I had refused to watch anything but horror in the month of October because I bought this movie, I think probably early October. So I waited to watch it. But when I did watch it, did not disappoint. The story here is it's great, really. It's smart, it's touching, it's infuriating, and it's just overall shockingly human. Humans are many things, you know. Some are good, some are bad, and a lot of us are both. Let's face it. You know, this film touches on all of that. I went into this knowing that I would review it, but I also, you know, realizing that it would be probably a tough watch, a tough undertaking, if you will, and it was. So the plot follows Richard, played by Paddy Considine, who also wrote. He was one of the co-writers of the film, and so he's just returned to his hometown after serving the British military, and he's staying at an abandoned farm with his intellectually disabled brother Anthony, played by Toby Kebbell. I also want to mention that this was Toby Kebbell's first film appearance because his performance was really, really good, especially for what was needed of his performance. Real good. Anyway, so Richard learns that while he was away, Anthony was severely abused by a gang of local drug dealers. And with his brother being seemingly the only family that he has, Richard decides to take revenge against each member of this gang. So yeah, this is a total revenge film. However, it's quite unique and really unlike any that I've ever seen. I mean, I really like a good revenge story, and this one has numerous twists that you likely won't see coming. At least I sure didn't, but I'm not great always at seeing plot twists coming. I don't anticipate them necessarily. There's just so much to say about this film, and there's so much that I can't tell you because I don't want to spoil it. The first thing that I noticed is the cinematography and editing style during the opening. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if this is Shane Meadows' first film. And it isn't. And that wasn't me thinking, like lack of experience here. It just has that artsy look of someone who maybe recently got out of film school, and I really mean that in the best way. Shane Meadows is an artist for sure, and I can't wait to see more of his work. In between the storyline here is Super 8 footage detailing the heartbreaking abuse that Anthony had to endure. And it's rough, It's incredibly hard to watch. Physical abuse, sexual abuse, being forced to take drugs. They aren't things you want to see, but you need to know why Richard wants these guys dead. Makes it just that much more effective. Richard's story arc is interesting because he isn't exactly a saint himself. He's deeply flawed, and that's what makes him such an interesting character. I think that honestly, Richard represents a lot of us, flaws and all. It was an incredibly bold move for the writers to make him this way. So don't expect John Wick here, right? Don't expect anything fancy, and don't expect necessarily even redemption. This is a cold, ugly reality, and honesty is what you will get here. And it won't necessarily always feel good. Also, this is a very British film. If you aren't British, like myself, you might have to turn on subtitles because the accents are so thick and very hard to understand. And this is coming from someone who I grew up watching British television. So it wasn't a lack of culture on my part or anything. I rarely have to turn the subtitles on with British films. I had to do it with this one. And also the real reason why I brought up the Britishness of this film is that there are scenes where you will have to keep British society in mind. Again, if you are British yourself, or if you've watched a lot of British TV and stuff like that, that would help you understand the culture just a little better, I think. such as where are all the guns? Why are axes and hammers and knives being used as weapons? And if you don't know, it's because guns are banned in the UK. So that would be an important thing to keep in mind while you watch this. The acting here is also really, really good. I wasn't previously familiar with a single person involved with this film, but the entire cast is completely believable, and it's like watching a documentary at times. And as a sort of comparison, I'm actually kind of reminded of the film Gummo, where the acting is so perfect for what is needed for the film. Now, I'm no expert with low budget British film from this era, especially, but if you like those early, maybe Danny Boyle films, I think Dead Man's Shoes would also be for you. Hell, I mean, I mentioned Gummo, so I think that fans of Harmony Korine in general might actually dig this. But to all open-minded fans of film, I recommend this to you. I'm giving Dead Man's Shoes an 8 out of 10. Highly recommended. Cheers, guys.